Looking outside, I don't see any rain coming down. It's looking better and better. I want to turn your attention to one verse of Scripture found in Philippians chapter 4. Extremely familiar verse of Scripture. If you don't have it marked in your Bibles, you need to. It just simply says this: finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report. Hey, if there be any virtue, if there be any praise, think on these things. I only want to pull out one little bit of this. I just want to pull out the part where it says things are lovely. One of the translations used the term whatever things are beautiful. I want to preach to you for just a short period of time today about the beauty of God. The beauty of God. Put your Bibles down, give him a hand clap of praise. Hallelujah. If you want to be, I enjoy a YouTube channel that's been on for several years now, and I have become accustomed every year, with the exception of the COVID years. It's a channel called X Overland, and basically all they do is these folks travel. They have these overlanding vehicles like Jeeps, and I hate to say it, they got a couple of them Toyotas, and the Toyotas are they're pretty good vehicles. I got to give them a little credit there. I ain't gonna lie. And they load these things up. Man, they got tents on top and kitchens on the inside, and they go all over. They go all over the world. They made their way all the way from the very top of Alaska all the way to the most extreme tip of South America. This year they're in Botswana in Africa, and as the years have progressed, Clay and his team, guy's name's Clay Croft, and his family, they have a team that go on these things, and as the years have progressed, I got to give it to them. Their skills as overlanders have increased. Their productions have gained better quality, and they have some absolutely gorgeous shots. They went last year, and they were running through the northern, like Finland, and almost into right on the Russian border, and they went through some islands, and they were trying to get to a particular place. And when they got there, they were traveling on this volcanic road, and it was, you know how a volcanic road looks, it's kind of black and dingy and dirty. And all of a sudden, you saw their faces just, wow. And it went to commercial. Great production movie right there. Because you can tell something amazing had just happened, but now you got to wait on the commercial. But when it comes back, it goes and it shows where, as they top this little hill, the largest moving glacier in the world is there. Absolutely stunning. The hot and the cold and the steam and just absolutely some of the most gorgeous landscapes you could have ever found. I as well have traveled some I'm a believer that until you have seen all of America, why go to another country? I don't see the need to go travel to Finland when I can take a motorcycle ride to the Smoky Mountains. Because I have found myself at the beginning of daylight in the mountains. And all of a sudden, as the sun begins to just peek over the horizon and the fog is on the mountaintops, it's just absolutely stunning. You get up into the East Coast during the fall of the year, the changing of the leaves. They make a huge amount of money because people want to go see them. Why? Because it's absolutely beautiful. Now, for an old country boy, big river rat like myself, I still find that there's nothing like sitting on a sandbar when the sun goes up and watching that old Sabine River flow by and see a duck or two, teal or something come zipping through there. And seeing that makes my heart happy. Now, I do realize that that beauty's in the eye of the beholder. Old saying is, oh, beauty skin deep, but ugly goes clear to bone. I'll have to tell you, I have noticed that. I remember Brother Alfred Gibson and myself, we got snookered by Sister O'Brien. Go to a big old singing in a place called Singer, Louisiana. Huge metropolitan area. Smaller than Price. But son boy Ashford was pastoring. What a fantastic preacher, really. He stuttered real bad until he preached. Man, that bad boy just lost all that. Preached the house down. Had a good church there. Sister O'Brien told me in Alpha, she said, there's a couple of girls up there that are interested in meeting y'all. When you get set up by a pastor's wife, that's bound to be a good thing, right? Yeah. You didn't know Sister O'Brien. We get there, and Alfred and I standing in the choir, we singing. I don't even think we took choir, I think we just took the sextet. And so Alfred and I was there, we were standing in there, and we sitting down on the platform, and we're looking out, because I'm trying to figure out who this gal might be. Ooh, and there is a drop-dead, gorgeous redhead, about halfway back, sitting by herself. Looks about to be, I don't know, mid-20s. I like them older, so I'm a happy man. She's the only one there. I'm looking around, going, she's the only one around here who looks about right, I leaned over to Alfred and I said, bro, I thought Sister O'Brien said there was two girls. He said, I thought so too. I said, well, I'm going to tell you, little redhead back there caught my eye. Look, buddy, you may have to go on along. I'm calling dibs right now. Well, service is done. We're going to go eat in the fellowship hall. I'm waiting in the fellowship hall with Brother Alfred, waiting on this good-looking gal to show up. And I ain't being offensive here, folks. I'm just telling God's honest truth. Two of the biggest, hairiest, pulpwood hauling singer gals rolled in. Sister O'Brien right behind. Oh, Brother Randy, Brother Alfred, I have somebody here I need you to meet. I looked at both of them, and they had more hair on their arms than I do. They had more hair on their lips than I did. I looked at Alfred and said, Alfred, they're all yours. I'm gone. He said, bro, you can't do that to me. I ain't saying they weren't sweet gals. They was ugly. I'm just telling you, so I live and breathe ugly. Their daddy owned a big pulpwood hauling. They had piles of money, I'm sure. Oh, the big pulpwood hauling company. They helped their daddy in the pulpwoods picking up pulp logs and loading them by hand. These gals would have if she'd have slapped me, I'd have died. And I'm a big guy. I got Sister O'Brien to the side. I got kind of left with Alfred for a second. I told Sister O'Brien, I said, I know I rode in here with Alfred. I said, you mind if I catch a ride home with you? She looked at me and she said, well, Brother Randy, what you going to do about your day? I said, oh, I'll take care of that. Don't worry about that. But when you leave, I want to make sure I need to get home early. There's a Friday night. I got to work cattle in the morning. I need to get up early. I really need to go. I don't want to stay with late. She said, all right. I left my friend out. Both of them. And I didn't tell either one of them I was leaving, and didn't tell him I was gone until I was gone. He figured it out. To this day, for some reason, he holds that against me. I don't know why. I thought it was a great way to get out of having to take them old gals out that night. He took them both out. Now, I don't know if it was just because I thought they weren't the best looking women. But for me, that wasn't beautiful. Come to find out, the redhead, by the way, was married. I was already taken. Because when I asked Sister Over, I said, what about that redhead again? Oh, that's Brother So-and-so's wife. I said, woo! Glad I didn't go shake her hand and say hello. Beauty is something, however, that is subjective. Your idea of beauty is different than mine. Beauty changes over time. What I might have married looks different 26 years down the road. I've known Stephanie all of her life. She doesn't look the same as she did when she was 15. And in another 20 years, she won't look the same as she does today. But that doesn't say that I still don't think she's beautiful.
What's your way out of that?
Y'all think I'm dumb? Y'all think I'm dumb? Y'all think I'm nuts? I still think she's the best looking thing since sliced bread. And I like bread. This ground I've been on before, I am always fine.
That would mean you got to get the rest of it.
You see, my wife doesn't have the same guy she married. I had a 50-inch chest, 36-inch waist, weighed 232 pounds, and I was a cowboy. Now, she still got the cowboy. I don't know where the muscles went. And I'm now lighter than I was when I got married. I don't look the same. I got a little gray in my hair. It's thinning. I got loose skin. But I hope she still thinks I'm the best looking dude in all of this.
He ain't saying that.
I know. Me and her have a little talk when we get home. But just because she thinks I may be handsome and I think she may be beautiful, that doesn't mean somebody else is. And there's nothing wrong with that. Some people like cities, and some people like country. Some people like a Ford, some people like a Chevy. Everybody loves a Jeep, nobody likes a Toyota. I'm just saying. If you don't believe beauty is something that is sought after and people will pay for, have you ever taken a look at a postcard rack? Somewhere on a postcard rack, you're going to find a postcard that's going to have a picture of a sunrise, a mountain scene, a beautiful valley full of flowers. There is just something about beauty that attracts us, that causes us to look. It causes us to take notice. For you lady folks, maybe not so. But for us dudes, good-looking gal walks by, it's gonna look. You say, poster on my wall. Yeah, Brooke Shields used to look good. You notice I said used to. And some of you gals out there, I'll date y'all now. Y'all probably had a poster on David Hasselhoff.
John Paul Van Dam.
But there you go. Well, now sis, I would have said that because that's really getting on back here a little bit. If I went to your house and you and you like Harlequin romances, you want to know what's normally on the picture of the cover of a Harlequin romance? It ain't some good-looking guy. It's some weird-looking dude with his shirt off, with his hair down the middle of his back on. Why? Because even the lady folks like a little beauty. If you don't believe it, how many of you got flowers on your front porch? Or in your front yard? And somebody was showing a rose the other day. I mean, Sister Marilyn, look, she only had the rose and she's already carried pictures of them around. I mean, what is that? But she says, oh, this, I'm going to have this in my yard. Why? Because it's beautiful. I'm not saying a rose, Sister Marilyn, ain't pretty. I'm just saying I don't get you carrying a picture of it around when you ain't got it.
I meant to say Johnny.
We do the same thing. And I've got pictures in my phone of what? $3. Why? Good looking dogs. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. And I'm having a little bit of fun with you because I want us to understand. Everybody has a different viewpoint when it comes to what we think is beautiful or not. One of the craziest things as you get older. So, as a photographer, I am interested in how the lens captures something, whatever. And some of the most amazing photographs to me are the photos taken of old people. And when I say old, I'm not talking about an age. I'm talking about a particular look. Some old cowboy that's been out in the sun for 70 years. And his skin is as brown as this pulpit. And it's as wrinkled as it could be. But yet there's something when the photo's done right. That when you look at that photo, you go, wow, I get that. Maybe it's an old, weathered grandmother holding a brand new baby. And you say, well, that's a gorgeous baby. No, it's not. There ain't no such thing as a pretty baby. They all ugly. It's just in your mind. Your kid's just pretty, but everybody else is thinking, oh my God, I hope they don't grow up. Hope they grow into that head. But that grandma in that picture, when it shows just those wrinkled, tired hands wrapped around a newborn infant, there's something about that gets me. And I see that as beautiful because it's telling the story about something. Russell and I, who was my business partner for Arch Career Photography, we would take trips and we would go and we would photograph the old plantation houses and the old slave quarters and some of the plantations, and we'd find old fireplaces. Why? Because they tell a story. And when you look at them, it takes you back to a time that was different than what the picture was taken in, but you look at it and you can see the antebellum party going on the front yard, and the carriages pulled up in front, and the beautiful magnolias blooming, and the ladies all in the fancy dresses, and the guys in their frock coats and their top hats, and it brings that to your mind, and in your mind's eye you see that absolutely stunning. I was with my dad I just bought the Jeep. It was outside of Collinsville. He said, there's a place I always want to go. I said, where's that? He said, there's a place somewhere around here that's got a marker. I think it's the highest bluff point on the Sabine, on the Angelina River. He said it's the highest point. He said it's famous for some kind of battle or something's fought there. He said, you reckon you can find it? I said, well, I ain't had a chance to get her off in the mud hole yet, so you got it. And away we went. Now, I got to tell you, it was rough. Them logging roads, they had some big old log trucks rolling through there. And there was winching to be done. But I got there. I keep my Jeep because every once in a while I take my Jeep down to the Sabine River with Dad, and we go and we set up camp in places that other people can't go. Why? Because it takes me places that ordinary people can't get to that I find to be beautiful. As beautiful as this world is, if I had a chance to go to Africa, I would like to go to Africa because it's an absolutely gorgeous country. If I had a chance to go to the Amazon rainforest, I'd like to go. A bucket list item for me is to be able to hunt bear on Kodiak Island up in Canada. To go to Alaska because it's absolutely beautiful. There are things in this world that draw us to it. And the Bible tells us in the Philippians that it is for us to think on those types of things. Things that are good, just, and honest, and beautiful. And I believe the thing here is not really probably so much about the countries, the places. I think what I wanted to make sure that we understood this morning is I believe that the apostle was simply saying to think on things that are beautiful, because I believe that the apostle had a clear picture of who Jesus Christ was. You see, God is the most beautiful, gorgeous, adorable, awesome thing that you can picture in your mind. He does more that can be labeled beautiful in a single moment of time than anybody can do with a lifetime. When He heals you, it is absolutely beautiful. When He blesses you, it is always absolutely beautiful. When He moves on your behalf, He does that in beautiful ways. And the most amazing, most gorgeous, most beautiful thing is Him on Calvary's cross, arms stretched wide, blood running down, His body dripping on the ground. And whenever He looks down and says, "It is finished," the most beautiful creature of the entire universe and of all time was there hanging for the whole world to see. And when He says, think on things that are beautiful, we should spend a lot of our time thinking about how good God is to us and how wonderful He is to us and what He does for us and how He treats us and what we can do and what we see and how we interact with Him. Because we have to understand there is nobody like Him. You see, I don't think that you and I can picture in our mind how beautiful He is. Now, I think He let us in on the secret when He said, "I'm going to go away and prepare for you a place." Now, He wasn't talking about Himself. He said, "I'm going to go and I'm going to fix you a place. I'm going to create you something that what? Your eyes have never seen it. They never heard about it. And you can't even imagine. Could I tell you the beauty of heaven is going to be so awesome and so beyond compare that if we're not careful, we're going to walk around like this. first millennium. Do you realize that God didn't have to die for you? He made a choice. When we get married, we say, "Oh, I love you. I love you." Have a little fun. We get married. Oh, love you. And we sit real close to one another. And we lock arms. Yeah. We whisper in each other's ear. I tell you, you're so pretty. Now, Brother Randall, on the other hand, you can see what 100 years of marriage can do. Grandkids, life. But you want to know something? Some of y'all, I ain't going to do it again because some of y'all have a heart attack when I slapped my wife on her backside the other day in church. Some of you old fogies, man, I don't know about y'all. I like being around my wife. I enjoy spending time. As long as she don't ask me a bunch of questions. Right? Ain't that right, Brother Thomas? I mean, I don't need questions. I just need, be quiet and be there. And then if she does ask me questions, I'll ignore and answer a week from now. And then she won't remember the question that I'm answering. She'll have to ask me again, "Well, what are you talking about?" I said, "Well, I'm answering the question you asked me 2 weeks ago." Oh. I asked her, "Where you want to go eat?" "I don't care. I don't matter." "Well, let's go China." "I don't want Chinese." "Well, let's go to Mexico." "I don't want Mexican food." "Well, all right. I'm gonna get me a restaurant one day that's named "I Don't Care." That's where we're gonna eat it. I still like hanging out with them. Time may adjust our viewpoint a little bit. It may adjust our interactions somewhat. Jobs do that. Life comes along. I mean, if my wife needs to go visit her mom and dad, she goes. Leaves me alone. I may not like it. I may want to spend the day with her. But there's responsibility. Responsibility changes things. Could I tell you that in a relationship with God, nothing ever changes? There's nothing you can do that will cause Him to love you less. You say, "Well, I ain't saying you might be doing something wrong. I'm just saying His love is forever. He died for absolutely everybody. There's nobody that He looks at and says, 'Well, you too ugly.'" And look, Brother Randall, I know you're thinking to yourself, he's got to understand. He does. He created the duck-billed platypus. I'm pretty sure he understands what ugly is. But the real truth of the matter is, it doesn't matter who we are or where we come from. It doesn't matter what we've done in our past. It doesn't matter what we're going to do in our future. It doesn't matter how successful or unsuccessful we are. God absolutely loves everybody the exact same amount, and He will do anything He can do to build a relationship with you. And He literally wants to hang out with you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 and a quarter day. For you legalistic folks that realize there is a leap year. Beauty for us may be in the eye of the beholder. My definition of beauty may be different from yours, but His definition of beauty is just simply called His creation. Mankind. And for me, He's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. He has treated me better than anybody else has ever treated me. As much as I love her, He gave that to me. He gave it. He did that. And because He did, that makes me love Him even more. Then I even love her. It's the reason God put it into place. Christ, the head, the household. What an absolutely gorgeous, beautiful God that you and I serve. And every time that we get caught up in life and Satan comes along and paints you a picture that's so pretty, when you put that picture up beside of Jesus Christ, it just fades away. There's nothing that takes the place of my God. And I believe that to be the case. I believe that to be what He wants. I believe He wants the relationship with us to be so tight, so connected, that He's the most important thing